So can Republicans take the Senate? Join us, our political panel, ABC News political director Rick Klein, The Hill's A.B. Stoddard, and the Weekly Standard's John McCormick. Rick, first to you. If the Republicans do take the Senate, and get ready, A.B., because you're going to have the flip question, how does that change people's lives in America if the Republicans take over? What does it mean?
It means that we're going to have more bad Washington functioning, because we're going to have at least another 2 years of absolute gridlock. It's going to be a lot of confrontation, and I think it's going to be a position that the president is going to have to decide. Do I start to sign off on some things that Republicans go along with? Do I sign off on a couple of things that I may not have loved and reposition myself for those next 2 years? But let's be honest, I think it's going to be the warm-up back for 2016. I think the real impact in 2014 is going to be felt in 2016. No one's going to expect a burst of legislating and the president signing bills into law passed by the Republican Congress. It's not going to be a pretty picture here.
And AB, if the Democrats maintain control of the Senate, then what does it mean to Americans?
Well, I think you're going to have more of the same. It's going to be the same leadership, and I think it's going to be more gridlock. But there might be, if they hold it by one and they lose a bunch of senators in red states and Hillary is under pressure starting her campaign over Obamacare, there might be some bipartisan work where Democrats concede that they want to fix part of that law. That would be, I agree with Rick, the most I could hope for in the 2 years to come. I don't see any more big bills passing, and I see a lot of polarization again.
You know, John, I see that as momentum. Whoever wins gets the momentum going into 2016 to win behind the sales. But going into the midterms, I mean, turnout's everything, isn't it?
Certainly. I mean, the odds are in favor of Republicans taking the Senate right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they fell a seat short. I also wouldn't be surprised if we woke up and found out they had won 10 Senate seats. I think right now, if you look at these races, everyone's looking at the polling averages right now, but the polling averages are very slim margins. Republicans have a small lead in a couple states. Democrat in North Carolina has a 2-point lead. But if you look back, I mean, Harry Reid was supposed to lose in 2010. He was down by, something like 3 percentage points in the average of polls. He ended up winning by 5 points. So the polls can be wrong. They've been wrong in the past. North Dakota and Montana back in 2012. So there's also 2 weeks left in the election. There's a lot that could change.
Message is this really a statement of the president if the Senate, like either, the country's with you or against you, depending on what happens?
It's a statement in that he can't go anywhere. And he's going to be doing a campaign event on Wednesday, his first rally of the year. It's for a governor's candidate, a governor in the Democratic governor in Connecticut. So he cannot venture into the places that actually determine the election. So this will be, in a lot of ways, the final judgment on the Obama era, and the idea that he could lose the Senate even after seeing states like Colorado and Iowa being the final knives in the back would be pretty extraordinary when you think about what he did in 2008 and again in 12.
All right, panel, listen to this. Texas gubernatorial candidate Wendy Davis sticking to her guns, defending her nasty campaign ad. The ad targets her opponent, Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott. He has been confined to a wheelchair for years.
A tree fell on Greg Abbott. He sued and got millions. Since then, he spent his career working against other victims.
And today, Davis defending that ad. She staged an event surrounding herself with disability rights activists, including 2 people in wheelchairs. A.B., your thoughts for Wendy Davis tonight? Well, she dug in, and she wants to defend the ad and say that his record in terms of victims' rights and is still a good issue for her campaign. I'm really stunned by this. Everyone has said it's desperate. It clearly is. But I really thought she was running knowing that she wasn't going to beat Greg Abbott, that she was setting herself up as a formidable presence in the state, sort of the leadership of the leader of the Democratic Party there, possible maybe future senator when the time was right, if that state purples up eventually. And what she's done in this campaign, there have been other mistakes, has been really disappointing. And this ad is really just truly embarrassing. I think she's turned out to be just a terrible politician. I mean, she had a great personal story, and then she's sort of fudging along the edge, which she didn't even have to do. I mean, it's almost like she's going out of her way to shoot herself in the foot.
Well, I almost wonder if she's given up on Texas politics. Touching on something A.B. said, it seems almost as if she wants to just be like the next Michael Moore, maybe an MSNBC host. It seems like she's, not even really interested in winning anymore. And I think it was just crazy in the first place that she would have, won, given the fact that she took out such a hardline stance on, not just abortion, late-term abortion. I don't think she was ever in a position to really win in Texas. But this ad just shows me that she's basically given up.
Rick, what governor's race are you watching the most? What's the most fascinating to you?
Oh, I love the Kansas race because you have Sam Brown back there embattled. I love Scott Walker's race in Wisconsin. He's either a huge
Florida's
contender.
Fun.
Florida's great as well.
So you like them all.
But no, it's so interesting because you have this whole class of governors elected in 2010 and this class of senators elected with Obama in 08. So you have the Tea Party wave in 10 and the Obama wave in 08, and those guys are all up for re-election. So you could see a whole bunch of Republican governors and a whole bunch of Democratic senators out of a job.
I love the Wisconsin one because I'm from Wisconsin. And so are you, John. So you like to watch that one. What race do you like the most?
I agree. Florida, when I see people going down like Hillary Clinton and Vice President Biden to help out Charlie Crist, it's just really hard to believe. But she needs that state in her corner, and it's so much about 16. And I really do, as we discussed, Greta, I think he's going to win, and it's just unbelievable. Most Floridians will tell you they don't have a good choice, but the outcome will be a surprise either way.
Walker or Burke in Wisconsin for governor?
Walker looks like he has the edge right now, but that's a really important race, not just for what it says about the fight over public sector unions, but in 2016, if Walker wins, it's almost certain that he's going to run for president. If he doesn't, he's out, and that reshapes the 2016 presidential race.
Indeed it does. 22 days. Anyway, panel, thank you.